like clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols.
Alright guys, today we have a bunch of spoilers about the upcoming episodes of the Boruto anime, but regardless, the next episode is going to be episode 169. This house is going to be a joint military campaign with the Sand. Into the actual paragraph, it says a joint mission has been arranged to be conducted between Team 10, which is comprised of Shigadai, Inojin, and Chocho, and a team from the Hidden Sand Village, which is comprised of Shinki, Yodo, and Araya. The purpose of the mission is to search for the wreckage of the Otsutsuki clan's puppets that Shigadai had previously fought against, and then recover its remains. And so Team 10 is headed towards the Wind Country in order to carry out the mission. When they decide to drop by for a short stop at a particular store, Shigadai becomes uneasy about someone. There's a certain man who carried an unusual aura about him as they pass by one another at that storefront. Actually, that man was Deepa, the one who had inflicted serious wounds upon Boruto and his team. The three of them then witness a dreadful scene that unfolds inside of the shop. Alright, now this episode right here, in my opinion, sounds absolutely insane. I think that a lot of people are going to automatically love it, mainly because of the appearance of Deepa. And on top of that, we also get Team 10 in a joint mission with Shinki and his team. That right there seems to be an absolute amazing episode. Now, we don't really know exactly how it's going to plan out or anything like that. I strongly doubt that Deepa is actually going to kill anybody in this episode in terms of the actual core characters. So in terms of if I'm actually worried about this specific episode, I'm going to say no, but regardless, just the appearance of Deepa is absolutely insane. It just shows you guys how much the Boruto writers actually do value this character and how much they're building this guy up for a very long time. But I really like it. Hopefully you guys do. Next episode is going to be episode 170. The title is going to be A New Rasengan. Now into the actual paragraph, it says Shigadai has finally arrived on site to where Boruto has been zealously training. Even though he's stuck at an impasse, Boruto is desperately trying to figure out a breakthrough. Since Shigadai had personally experienced the same feeling of dread during his battle with Deepa from their mission just a few days ago, he tells Boruto that a rematch would be reckless. However, Boruto then tells Shigadai about the true reason that he wants to become stronger. They decide to collaborate with one another for some training, but then ... Alright, big bombshell in this paragraph right here. And I don't really care about Boruto in this situation. The paragraph basically implied that Shigadai actually did fight Deepa. Specifically in episode 169, what we should all be anticipating is, of course, Shinki, which is an absolute overpowered Genin. At this point, I think that he's a Chunin, in fact, but him versus a character like Deepa. Now, we understand off the rip, Shinki is not going to be as strong as Deepa, but we do believe that Shinki is going to be able to do a lot better than what Team 7 did against Deepa. Now, not only that, Shigadai is also in the equation as well. Now, when Shigadai has pieces on the chessboard, it just amplifies how effective that he is. If Shigadai comes up with the plan and Shinki is all for that plan, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very difficult scene for Deepa. Even though we understand that Deepa is going to win, it'll probably still be a very difficult time for Deepa to get out of that situation and potentially win that battle. In fact, I might even go as far as to say that that's the reason why they're still alive. Shigadai might have actually orchestrated something to possibly keep them alive and potentially drive back Deepa. Now, of course, I'm going to say this off the rip again, they're not going to be able to beat Deepa. Deepa is just that strong. I think that he's just on a different level. We're probably going to have to give it another character such as Sasuke to actually handle Deepa, but regardless, I think this is going to be a very interesting battle. Now, specifically for this episode, what we do have the confirmation of is the fact that Boruto is actually still training his Rasengan. I know a lot of people, including me, was completely surprised when we found out that Boruto was actually training for a wind-style Rasengan. Now, of course, Boruto did get the gist of that, but I do want to make a separate video and I do want to talk about this, is the fact that Boruto might actually be adding a different chakra nature to it as well. Now, what that is, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have your speculations, and me too. I want to talk about that in my specific video, but also it's the fact that Boruto still believes that he's not strong enough. I think that that's definitely a very important thing, and it's not only because of Deepa. That's what Shigadai's probably going to tell Boruto, like, hey, you're probably not going to get as strong as that guy, but I feel like something has clicked in Boruto's head that he's not at that elite tier yet, and of course he wants to become an elite ninja. From what we've seen from the manga, the fruits of his labors actually did pay off. Now, there was another excerpt on episode 171. I'm going to read that to you right now. It says, meanwhile, Uchiha Sada is thinking about how to try and strengthen her Sharingan, which is exclusive to the Uchiha clan. She's been grappling with the training with her father, Sasuke. However, Sada's mother, Sakura, is worried about the condition of her daughter's body. Then Sada starts to get into an argument with Sakura. Alright, that right there is definitely going to be a very interesting part of the episode as well. Of course, the main dynamic between Sada and Sakura is going to be the fact that Sakura is trying to take it too easy on Sada. Sasuke's probably not going to care, mainly because he's just that type of guy. He's probably not going to think about the ramifications on Sada's body, mainly because he expects her to handle that. But Sakura is like a different breed, not only because she has the motherly instinct, but also the fact that Sakura is also a doctor as well. She understands what a human body could actually take at this particular point. And of course, Sada coming off of a mission versus a character like Deepa, or a battle versus a character like Deepa, and then going straight into some vigorous training, of course that should have some ramifications on her body as well. The next one is going to be episode 171, and it's going to be the results of training. Into the actual paragraph, it says, while under the guidance of Kakashi Hatake, Boruto has successfully managed to improve his Rasengan by using his own means, and so Kakashi has prepared an opponent for Boruto to battle against in order to show off the fruits of his labor. Meanwhile, it's been decided for Sadada's mother to substitute in for her father in some actual combat training for Sadada. With their firm resolution still in their hearts and minds, Boruto and Sadada have continued to assiduously train up until now. Both of them are beginning to feel the effects of it in their own way. What will be the outcomes of all their hard work and efforts that they've been amassing from their training? Alright, now this right here is probably going to be the climax episode of this mini training arc, and I'm not going to lie, I'm super excited for this as well. It seems that Boruto had actually completed or finished his quote-unquote Rasengan. I think that Boruto is probably going to try to add a different chakra nature to it, and if that is actually the case, it's probably going to be a very overpowered jutsu. Now, not only that, I do want to figure out who exactly Boruto is probably going to be fighting. It could possibly be Konohamaru, it could possibly be somebody from another village. What I do know is the fact that Boruto is probably not going to be favored in this battle. If Kakashi is going to actually choose somebody to battle against Boruto, he's of course not going to pick somebody that he expects Boruto to beat. So regardless, I think that Boruto is definitely going to probably lose this battle, but I still do want to see how strong Boruto has actually gotten. And on the other hand, Sada's actually going to be fighting against her mother. Now, this is probably going to be a very interesting situation. I think that Sakura is definitely going to have a little feeling of holding back versus Sada mainly because, of course, that is her daughter. So we don't necessarily expect that Sada's going to be fighting one of the 3 legendary members of the original Team 7. But regardless, I think it's going to be a very interesting battle. What we understand is that Sakura is very adept at taijutsu, and of course, the Sharingan flat out is supposed to see through that. Now, the next episode, episode 172, the title is going to be A Sign of Fear. Into the actual paragraph, it says Boruto has become hospitalized due to the recoil that he sustained during his training. Team 5, which is comprised of Iwabe, Denki, and Metal Lee, has come to visit Boruto and wish him a speedy recovery. There, they also meet a young boy named Nato, who has also been admitted to the hospital. Nato was both mischievous and cheeky. After being completely manipulated by him, Iwabe and his team finally accepted Nato's request to try and get him a certain person's autograph. However, that particular person is a ninja whom everyone is afraid of. At first, the 3 of them try to refuse his task, but then they realize that Nato is about to undergo a major surgery soon, and so they intend to procure this autograph from him by any means necessary. Alright, now, I think that this episode is probably going to be the slower episode out of the 4 that we did just read. I think there is a potential that this episode might actually be a very good episode. Now, of course, we understand that this boy named Nato, he's probably going to be a very weird person, but also it really depends on who he actually wants the autograph from. It could potentially be Orochimaru. If it is Orochimaru, it'll still be a cool little episode, but it'll still be extremely slow. It's probably going to feel a lot like filler, but also it could potentially be a character like Deepa. If it is Deepa, that'd be absolutely insane. It'll definitely be a very good episode, but of course, I think it's probably going to be Orochimaru, and because of that, I think it's probably going to be a decent episode, but it's probably going to be extremely slow. Let me know what you guys think about these episodes in the comment section below, and give me your opinions. I think my favorite episode is probably going to be episode 171. That's going to be an episode when Boruto actually does fight and use the Rasengan, and also the episode where Sada does also spar against Sakura. It's not going to be a 100% fight, but it's still going to be very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below, or these episodes in the comment section below. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.